Civilians in Syria and Iraq are facing water shortages as the region's longest river, the Euphrates, dries up.
In recent news, someone in the Middle East made a surprising discovery. There are rumors that a group of fallen angels was found chained together under the Euphrates River. This discovery has shocked both the religious and scientific communities because it makes people wonder if supernatural beings exist and how they interact with the real world. Many people aren't sure if the discovery is real, while others can't wait to find out more about the supposed fallen angels and where they are being held. As more information comes out about this story, people all over the world are sure to be interested. The video is going to be quite interesting, so make sure to watch the video till the end. Also, subscribe to our channel now and press the bell icon for more such interesting videos. Let's get started with today's video. Since the Euphrates River is almost out of the water, many Christians are paying close attention to its development. This is because the Euphrates River is mentioned in the Bible after the 4 angels have fallen and the river has completely dried up. However, a scary video recently came out that showed a site that made strange noises. The location was said to be on the Euphrates River, and the sounds were said to have come from below the ground through a crack. Iraq is going through its worst drought in decades. People who live near the Tigris and Euphrates rivers don't have enough water to live because of a lack of rain and bad management of natural resources to keep crops from drying up in the Kurdistan area of the country. In January, the people in charge of the Mosul Dam reservoir drained the reservoir. This saved more than just the crops. Archaeologists only had a few days to look at the area before the water went away. However, they were able to map what they thought was a key city in the Mitanni Kingdom, which was built 3,400 years ago. When some parts of the metropolis came out of a terrible drought, scholars were able to study a long-lost palace with huge walls that were 6 feet thick and 22 feet high. Inside those walls, they found pieces of bright red and blue wall paintings, but they didn't have enough time to make a map of the city before the water came back. When the drought hit again, the University of Tübingen said in a statement that this year a study team was put together in a matter of days to rush out to the site. The University of Freiburg gave the scholars emergency funding to explore as much of the city as possible before it was resubmerged, because the team mapped many large buildings and found hundreds of artifacts. Archaeologists now have a better idea of how the buildings in this ancient metropolis would have looked. An industrial complex, a fortification with walls and towers, and a storage building with several floors were found. Ivana Poljes, an assistant professor of archaeology at the University of Freiburg, says that the large structure must have held a lot of things that were probably brought in from all over the area. The excavation results show that the site was an important center in the Mitanni Empire, says expedition leader Hassan Ahmed Qasim, chairman of the Kurdistan Archaeology Association. The team will continue to dig at the site. We do know that 4 angels are being held near the Euphrates River, and that once they are set free, they will kill 1/3 of humanity with 200 million horsemen. We know this because the Bible says so. Revelation 9:13-21. The 6th angel blew a trumpet, and I heard a voice coming from the 4 horns of the golden altar that is in front of God. It said, "To the 6th angel who had the trumpet, release the 4 angels who were bound at the great river Euphrates." The 4 angels who had been kept ready for this very hour, day, month, and year were released to kill 1/3 of humanity. The number of the mounted troops was twice as many as the number I heard, that they were 10,000 times 10,000, and this is what the horses and riders I saw looked like. Their breastplates were fiery red, dark blue, and yellow like sulfur. Their heads looked like the heads of lions, and fire, smoke, and sulfur came out of their mouths. 3 plagues of fire, smoke, and sulfur killed 1/3 of the people. The power of the horses was in their mouths and in their tails, which were like snakes with heads that could hurt people. The rest of the people who were not killed by these plagues were called the rest of mankind. Stone and wood idols that can't see, hear, or walk and didn't apologize for killing, using magic, being sexually immoral, or stealing. This is the voice John hears coming from the 4 horns of the golden altar, as described in Exodus 27:2. This voice tells the 6th angel, who is holding the trumpet, to free the 4 angels who are being held in the Euphrates River, which used to be the border between Assyria and Israel. Revelation reminds us that in the end, God is in charge of all these things and that he either lets them happen or tells us about them. Peter 2:4 says that they are bound, which tells us that they are demons. Demons are fallen angels who are often bound in chains of dark gloom. Some of Satan's angels and devils, just like some of God's good angels, are not locked up but are free. Ephesians 6:12 says, "Our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, the authorities, the powers of this dark world, and the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms in the Euphrates Valley, where these 4 angels are held captive as a long history of human evil." Genesis 4:8 says that the first murder took place near the Garden of Eden in the Euphrates region. In that area, the first fighting confederacy was put together. In Genesis 14, we learn that Nimrod set up his kingdom there. Genesis 10:8-12. Idolatry from Babylon grew in the area, and it will be judged there. Zechariah 5:18. Revelation 9:13-21 gives us more information about the northern invaders' attack. We already knew that a swarm of demonic locusts came down from the bottomless abyss. We are now told that there are 200 million heavily armed cavalrymen riding horses with lion heads and snake tails. The wicked army can cross the Euphrates River because there are 4 angels stationed on the river, maybe in charge of or even own these 200 million cavalrymen. 1/3 of people are killed because the other 2/3 of people won't apologize for their terrible actions. Idolatry murders witchcraft or being sexually immoral. Joel 2 and Ezekiel 38 also talk about how this northern army will attack Israel. The goal of punishment is to get people to change their ways, but it usually doesn't work. Because of this, we can say that the whole judgment shows how sins torture the immortal in this life and give them a taste of what's to come next. As Revelation 9 says, a star falls from heaven to earth. The star is Satan, and the key to hell is given to him. Satan uses this key to let loose a bunch of supernatural demons that look like flies. During the 6th trumpet judgment, those who don't believe are tortured for 5 months with such agony that people seek death in vain. They are ruled by a man named Apollyon, which means destroyer, and they look like war horses. John sees the release of 4 angels from the Euphrates River. Their release happens at the same time as the release of 200 million mounted demons, who will kill 1/3 of the people on earth. The survivors, on the other hand, did not give up their religion or say sorry for what they had done. Do you think the Bible's prophecies will come true? Are these voices from fallen angels? Tell us about it in the comments. Like and share the video, and do follow us for more.